it's good to see a full room, actually. We are in Dubai, very pro-technology, very pro-metaverse, Web3, anything that is actually pushes the boundaries, anything that's actually still on the horizon. And we would like to feel like Dubai is actually always on the cutting edge of not only following trends, but creating trends. And for example, today in Dubai, we have at least 3, if not 4 or 5 events around the same idea, which is the metaverse. That shows you how much commitment we have in this space, and that shows you the economy that is tied up with this huge trend that is happening right now. We'll just wait for the slides to pop up. So I'll go back. So my presentation is titled Game On. And the reason is that most of the value take right now, we are very early, as I mentioned before, is from gaming. And gaming seems to be the driver for a lot of change within hardware, software, as well as investment coming into this space, which is the metaverse. A little bit about myself. I'm Dr. Marwan Alzarouni, a strategic advisor for Digital Dubai, but I am also a policymaker, not only here in Dubai, but also I advise the World Economic Forum, as well as the AI Ethics Committee on things like how do we create a safe environment, whether it is by using a metaverse or it's a safe environment for creating AI technologies that are both ethical and address needs of humans to create a safe environment for everyone to live in. And creating a safe environment is extremely important. A lot of people, their first experience with the metaverse is that of people, interacting with them and maybe rubbing them the wrong way, or kids acting, not in the right way. So it is important to change that kind of perception of what the metaverse can propose. Even with AI and using AI as a tool, we have to be very wary of how we use that tool in the right way. That is all because whoever controls the metaverse, actually, the guy who came up with this quote is actually the guy who came up with the word metaverse or the term metaverse. Whoever controls this metaverse will actually control the whole world and everything in it. So the Dubai government strategy is all focused on creating ways and environments that actually educate people, empower people, whether it is in healthcare, whether it's in education, and also in creating community. And the sense of community is extremely important to us here in Dubai. Therefore, all our products, organizations, government departments, private sectors, projects that we actually work with. In Dubai, we work a lot with public-private partnerships. It's all focused on the same idea, which is creating value in this space. And taking the best value right now, as I mentioned, is through gaming. And the Dubai Metaverse strategy revolves around 3 ideas. The first one, of course, is to foster innovation and to create the economy. The second one is education and upskilling, basically training, and also bridging the gap between what people think the metaverse is and what the metaverse can deliver today and in the next 1 to 3 years. And the final one is, of course, government use cases. Our focus as a Dubai government entity is to align expectations for the government and also advise them on the proper use cases and value take from metaverse economy. So to really foster any of those 3 areas or verticals, we need to have a really good infrastructure. And that relies on three things. And I will discuss each one of them as well and showcase what the challenges and opportunities and what Dubai is doing right now in that space. So one of the areas, and the first area, is identity. You really need to have a strong identity. We've noticed actually not only with Metaverse, but generally speaking about Web3, KYC or Know Your Customer is extremely hard. Even in Web2, we've seen a concentration in identity in certain players, which are referred to collectively as big tech. So really right now, digitally speaking, your identity is controlled by the tech giants of the world. And these are just examples, but there are much more ways identity is used. It's not only your login, but other things like biometrics and other aspects where you identify yourself to the computer or to a physical space, be it access control or otherwise. Your identity is also your mobile phone. Your identity is also your email address. So a lot of these things, a lot of these technologies are outside of your control. Us in the UAE, we have a digital identity solution. I will let the video explain itself if we have sound.
UAE Pass is your secure national digital identity. That means you can use it to securely log into various websites and apps and sign official documents and transactions. So forget using multiple usernames and passwords. Use UAE Pass to log into various government, semi-government, and private sector websites and apps. To log in, enter either your mobile number, email address, or Emirates ID number. Signing digitally using UAE Pass is easy. You can either upload and sign a document on the app or website, or sign to complete an official transaction. To sign on to the app, just upload a document, sign it, and share it. Simple. And if someone shares a signed document with you, you can instantly verify it on the app. Register now for UAE Pass on the app using facial recognition. To register on the app, download it. Scan your Emirates ID card, verify your contact details, and set your PIN. Then verify your account through facial recognition, or register in person at your nearest kiosk. Say yes to UAE Pass, your secure national digital identity. Download the app and register today.
So this is not a dream. This is actually live right now. So in Dubai, we already have digital identity that you can use it to sign in and over 180 different government services, and of course the private sector services as well. A lot of banks use UAE Pass as your only means for KYC. So for digital onboarding, it's a game changer, and this is an open platform, so anybody can add UAE Pass to their authentication stack. That being said, that UAE Pass actually enables the other part, which we talked about, which is seamless payments. Seamless payments right now was very friction, with the credit cards and entering it. And I think until today it is broken, because imagine this, you are actually literally giving your credit card details to everyone that you are actually using the credit card for. Imagine you give your username and password to every person that you want to use do a transaction with. It is not the right way to do payments. Of course, better means are touchless or NFC kind of payments, but this is actually extremely now being challenged by virtual cards and payments. Again, we're going back to big tech payments through mobile giants like the Apples and the Googles of the world. But I think this is going to be disrupted by Web3 in a big way. In the UAE, we have a universal wallet called Dubai Now, and you can pay for everything, your bills, your mobiles, your driving. You can even pay your kids' tuition, everything through one portal. And this is not only for the public sector, but also private sector bills as well, like telecom, for example. This is a step in the right direction, but this is only the start of a journey. Payments through means of the metaverse and Web3 and that kind of stuff will definitely be coming to Dubai shortly. The latest or the biggest challenge right now for metaverse adoption is connectivity and latency. The internet stack that we have, which is TCP/IP, and the border routers and all these, I think in the 1990s, I've learned about these technologies are still there, and they were formed because of alliances that were there. They were formed because there was a neutral international body that put them there. But are they the most efficient way to communicate? No. There are workarounds that we use in a lot of streaming services. We increase the bandwidth, but latency is still an issue. Connectivity needs to really change dramatically for us to see a metaverse that's not only seamless, but it's actually frictionless for everyone that jumps in, and also creates an amazing experience for the users. A lot of people say fiber optics are the solution. Fiber optics, yes, they make it easier, faster, but still fiber optics actually lose a lot of speed because they don't go in a straight line. They keep bouncing within the fiber, and when they get to you, they lose up to 30% of their speed. So latency is still an issue. And the longer you are, the longer the distance, the worse. Satellites are even slower, because imagine you have to go all the way to space or near Earth orbit and come back. So latency becomes even more exaggerated in satellites. So the solution is completely different. The solution will be something like much closer to you, to create an environment where you literally put on the glasses, you are transformed in a different world, everything in real life. There's no glitches, there's no buffering, there's no any of these kind of friction points that we have, and it will look very realistic. To realize this and not have this girl freeze like she just did now, we have to up our game when it comes to connectivity, and it takes a lot of working together, creating alliances, and creating the right connections within the telecommunications world to make these things happen. We go back now to education. Interactive education is key. We've noticed even with the COVID, and Salim covered it extremely well, that we lost this human touch actually when we had COVID. We lost being able to talk to people, being able to bring people together. You notice in this video, this is one of our events in Emirates Towers, and you notice that people are from all walks of life, from all different ethnicities, different backgrounds, all came together in a physical space. You cannot replicate that with things like Zoom or Teams or any of those camera-based kind of interactions. You might come closer to it with Metaverse, but still the human interaction is extremely important. Therefore, it is extremely important to create the Metaverse in a way that is either educational, immersive. What we have in the Metaverse is a captive audience. When you wear glasses, for example, you are not distracted by your phone or your life outside of that world that you are immersed in. Another aspect, of course, is engagement through entertainment, whether it is a concert, whether it is actually a game that's very, very, very action-packed and things like that. So the focus should be on both immersion as well as education and action games, or fun games, I would say, that are engaging. That being said, gaming will be the majority of the economic value in this space. It's true also for traditional gaming. We've noticed that 85% of gaming revenue comes from what is called free-to-play games, and free-to-play games make money from items that are cosmetic within the games. And we notice also that more than 80% of games are now sold digitally, completely digitally, not off the shelf in a brick-and-mortar store. And that trend will continue, and we'll see the day that how we phased out records and then CDs, and now we're fully moved to subscription-based services. We'll see some kind of shift, dramatic shift when it comes to gaming. Subscription services, maybe not there yet because of the connectivity, and a lot of people overlook that as well. Connectivity is extremely important, but some kind of a middle ground until we get there. I mentioned that working together is extremely important. We are always, actually, when we look at metaverse, we look always at the Western countries for inspiration. I don't know if you know, but some of the biggest gaming companies are actually from China. So we should not only look at China, we should look at what they're doing when it comes to metaverse. We should look at the best practices there. We should look at the positives and best practices from the Western world, but also regions like India, Europe, Africa. Inspiration will come from somewhere that you least expect. And we should keep our minds open and keep collaborating around the metaverse space, because this will benefit us all and take us much more closer to a metaverse that we will all want to work in and play in and be entertained in. It is not going to be multiverses, I don't think. It might be. But I think the idea, just like with the internet, there are no internets. I think it's going to be either one or two metaverses that will be the predominant, players in the space. Last but not least is government use. And government use of metaverse will be completely different than the gaming aspect. It is gamifying and visualizing experiences, for example, for industrial use cases, for simulation. One of the, actually my graduation project for my bachelor's was an elevator simulator as well. So us crunching the numbers is totally different when you actually see like little humans jumping into an elevator and going down and up. And it's extremely, extremely visual and extremely, it gives you an idea if you use one elevator versus two elevators versus three, how much power you're getting, how people are using it, the psychology of something like an elevator and how much wait time is there completely changes your perception of a certain building, for example, and how efficient that building is. It's the same thing with power generation, with industrial, fixing a machine without even seeing it. If you practice it enough, even for things like aviation, if you practice it enough in the simulation, when you go to a real plane, a real airplane, it's much easier to fly. Of course, with battlefield awareness, our awareness-related activities are also extremely important. A lot of the advantage that people have operationally is from trying different playbooks, different scenarios, and you can do that much, much cheaper using virtual reality and metaverse projects where there are multiple actual people jumping into the same experience, like a dogfight, for example, versus doing it just a computer versus a computer. So those experiences will bring a lot of value to government. A lot of people mention, okay, when you mention government use cases in the metaverse, they jump straight away to the customer service kind of scenario. I don't think that's the right approach. I don't think that's the best value for metaverse. I think scenarios like this with simulation and industrial use cases are the best. I'll give you an example for rapid prototyping, for example, in Dubai Police. Instead of building a car with the interface and everything, Dubai Police actually created a virtual car for their smart patrol and then tried it with actual patrolmen to actually see what is the best interface. Do they use Arabic, English? Do they use colored buttons versus other means? And after they really perfected the placement, the size, the interface of the whole UI, UX, then they built in the first prototype for the actual smart patrol. So this saves you time, effort, and you are actually immersed in something before you even build it. So rapid prototyping is an extreme value take from that. And these technologies will actually evolve as well. So it is really important to realize the value from that. We will live in this world whether we like it or not, and the value take could be everything from social impact to gaming to fashion to medicine to NFTs and Web3 to social media impact. You will live in a social world whether you like it or not, whether you will live in the metaverse whether you like it or not. You will live in this community, and if you are actually a part of it, you get much, much more value from the metaverse than if you are just avoiding the whole metaverse conversation. Thank you very much.